So all those who are interested in dying correctly, they must pay attention to this, because if you don't die right, you'll be born wrong. Again, you'll go through this whole chakra. So he says that is the kind of yoga dharanam that people do at the end, who have put efforts all their lives. Not those who think somehow will manage in last moment. No, it won't happen. And then he says, Om ityeka aksharam brahma vyaharan mam anusmaran ya prayati tyajan deha sayati paramam gatim. At that moment, after doing all this, what all? Completely controlling all your senses, stop eating, smelling, tasting, touching, means completely in control of your mind, senses. All your prana is focused in your head. You are not spending time anywhere below that. Then contemplating on that Brahma Tattva which is within here, they chant Om. That is the final way they live. So when they live, they don't cry out, Om comes out of their mouth. Why? Because they practiced it all throughout. And Om iti Brahma, our scriptures say Om itself is Brahma. It's not just the representation, it is Brahma, they say. So when that comes out of their mouth, a story is there, no? When Shiva Parvati were watching one fellow, a thief, and they were saying that this thief is going to break into this house and going to steal things and going to get caught. So who is going to save him? Shiva says, if he shouts Appa, I will save him. If he shouts Amma, Mother Parvati will go and save. So they are watching what will he shout. He goes inside and gets caught and gets beaten. When he gets beaten, he shouts Ayyo. And neither Shiva nor Parvati can save him now. So when we die, we should not die chanting Ayyo. We should die chanting Om. But that's not possible unless you have been doing it all your life. That's the whole idea. And he says, Ananyas cheta satatam yomam smariti nityashah tasyam sulabha partam nitya yuktasya yogina. For those who continuously do this, I am easily available to them. Sulabha Rama, Durlabha Rama. Sulabha, when you are continuously meditating on him. And Durlabha, when you are doing it partially, that partial devotion, partial bhakti doesn't work. That's all I am trying to say. These are some of the very important shlokas. Pay a little attention. We are coming towards the second half. Sahasra yuga paryantam aharyat brahmano viduhu ratrim yuga sahasrantam te ahoratra vidojana. He says, see, we have a timeline concept in India, and most of you may not be aware. Like we are in Kali Yuga now, Prathama Pade, and this is the Brahma's 51st years, first month, first day going on right now, in which there are going to be 1000 Mahayugas. Each Mahayuga will be 4 yugas. Idea is that if our lifespan is of these 365 days, and as per Bhagavatam, Kali Yuga is 432,000 years of human lifespan, and the Dwapara is double of that, and the Treta is triple of that, and Kruta Yuga, Satyuga is 4 times that. So 43,20,000 years is one Mahayuga. 1,000 Mahayugas happen in day of Brahma, and 1,000 Mahayugas happen in the night of Brahma. So one day and night of Brahma you can keep counting. And he says why all this is important, because in one day 1,000 Mahayugas happen, and one night 1,000 Mahayugas happen in Brahma. This is a concept. I am not really keen on explaining and fighting over how many years, because a lot of people have put all kinds of concepts. It's absolutely confusing. But what I am trying to say is that what is the point in talking about how far you went in your dream, and what time you boarded the train in the dream, and what time you alighted from the train in the dream? How does it matter? It doesn't matter, right? Like that you think, don't worry about that. You come to the point. Why this Krishna keeps explaining this? To emphasize upon us that please put efforts. Otherwise you will not get it right at the last moment. He says, like that Brahma lives. In Brahma's one day 1,000 Mahayugas happen. In 1,000 Mahayugas, each Mahayuga is 4 yugas. And we are in one Yuga, Kali Yuga, or whatever. So that is the idea. And he says, every time Brahma wakes up, the creation happens. Every time Brahma goes to sleep, the creation, dissolution happens. Srishti, Sthiti, Laya is the concept. So that this Brahma is different from the Brahman I am talking about. This Brahma is the in charge of creation. And for this, how long Brahma lives? 100 years. Each year has 365 days. Each day has 12 hours of night and 12 hours of day. Each of these 12 hours a day has 1,000 Mahayugas, it seems. And every time he wakes up, a new cycle begins. Every time he goes to sleep, the cycle dissolves. So there is a different kind of pralaya concept. Why Krishna is telling all these things? He says that every time this happens, what happens to you? That's my point, no? What is in it for me in all this? He says, Bhuta grama saevayam bhutva praliyate ratraya game vashaha partha prabhavatya haragame. Every time this happens, Brahma wakes up and the new creation starts, you are born again. That's my problem. And every time he goes to sleep, we disappear again. And next time he wakes up, we are born again. How? Avashaha, without any control on it. We can't decide, I don't want to be born. We can't decide, I don't want to go from here. It happens as per the rules of the nature. And Brahma's day and night is happening. So every time we are born, we are dying. We are born. So this goes on for not 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 10 days, 100 years of ours. It goes on for 100 years of Brahma. And then finally one pralaya happens, it seems. So there are 4 kinds of pralaya, they say. One is called Nitya pralaya. When we go to sleep, our world also disappears, right? When you go into deep sleep, do you remember you're a boy, girl, tomorrow maths or science or which exam? Nobody remembers. When we wake up, we remember everything again. Like that, the world comes back to us the moment we wake up. So that is the Nitya pralaya, we call it. Naimittika pralaya, that is Brahma's pralaya. When he sleeps for that night, everything disappears and comes back again when he wakes up, they say. Then there is a pralaya of Prakriti pralaya, means when 100 years of Brahma gets over, whole thing is destroyed and next Brahma gets the opportunity to create the next world. That is one thing. Finally, one more pralaya, Atyantika pralaya. That is very happy. Why? Because that is the pralaya when we realize divinity and everything disappears for us. Like when we realize that is only a rope, no snake in the rope. All fears disappear, this Maya disappears. That's why Maya Mayamidam Akhilam Mitva Brahma Padam Tvam Pravishaviditva, Yankaracharya says. It's all Maya, it's all illusion, it's not true. It's a dream of Brahman in which he creates new world every other day. And we are born in that dream. But our helplessness is that we can't get out of the dream. Many people write to me, Swami, I'm scared of sleeping. I said, why sleeping is a good thing? We should sleep well. No, I get a bad dream again and again. The same dream comes. So I'm scared when I go to sleep, that dream will come again. In the dream, he sees something terrible, a monster, a daitya, pishacha or something, and he every time wakes up with fear. So doesn't want to go to sleep now, that fellow. How helpless. See how helpless. He has no control over his own dream. Like that, we have no control over birth and death unless we realize Brahman. Because that when we realize Brahman, it doesn't matter what's happening around. Suppose the boy remembers that he is dreaming and this monster in the dream is not real. This tiger in the dream is not real. This warden in the dream is not real. When we wake up, we will realize the real one. So don't worry, sleep properly. Just reject all these ideas. Vishwam tyaktva swapna vicharam, Shankaracharya says. Give up this world thinking it is only a dream. So if you remember in the dream that there is no tiger, how happily you can sleep. Next day also you can sleep and enjoy the dream. How tiger is chasing and you are running and all that is just a show. So how can we develop that? No. So how do we get out of this dream? Helplessly we are being thrown into the dream every day, every night of Brahma. That is why he is saying, please find a way out of it. Otherwise this will go on forever. And he says, Paras tasmattu bhavo anyo avyakto avyakta sanatanaha yasa sarveshu bhuteshu nashayatsu navinashyati. He says, apart from this manifestation and unmanifestation because of Brahma waking up and sleeping, there is one thing which does not wake up and sleep or get destroyed or be born again. There is something beyond that, which is not destroyed when the worlds are destroyed or the worlds are created. It is not destroyed, it is not created. Now Krishna is coming to the point. And he says, Avyakto aksharam ityukta tamahu paramam gatim yam prapya na nivartante taddhamam paramam mama. That place, which is Akshara, imperishable, and Avyakta, which is unmanifest ever. It is always there but cannot be seen, touched, tasted, smelled and all that. They say that is the highest thing. And how do we attain that? Once you attain that yam prapya, na nivartante, you don't have to come back again into this world. Tad dhamam paramam mama. That is where I exist. That is where I live. Not the Krishna, physical Krishna. That is where the real Krishna lives. The supreme Godhood lives. The divinity lives. Where once you reach, you don't come back again into this world of Maya. Like once mercury is converted into gold, it cannot become mercury again. When coal is converted into diamond, it cannot become coal again. Likewise, when man is divinized, cannot become human again. So we have to work towards becoming a divine person. I always say, you are born a man, no choice. But you have a choice to die a god, if you decide to, and if you put efforts. So he's saying, reach that so that you don't come back every time this Brahma decides to wake up and sleep. And once he hands over the charge to the next Brahma for another 100 years, which is 3 crore years. 3 crore years, yeah, that is the kind of calculation. So don't want to get into that. He says, Purusha sapara partha bhaktya labhya astu ananyaya. Only by continuous bhakti, can you attain that? All the time you have to be devoted to the cause of your own liberation. Come on, if you are not interested in your liberation, who can help you? Nobody can help you. You are not interested in your redemption, who can help you? You don't want to pass the exam, you don't want to study, which teacher can help you? Nobody can help you. You have to help yourself. Uddareda atmana atmanam. Help yourself. That is what he is saying. By param bhakti, bhakti, as I said, the idea of working towards your emancipation is true bhakti. Bhakti is not about worshipping a god, singing bhajans, dancing around a statue. That's all lower bhakti only. That is saguna bhakti. Nirguna bhakti is what Krishna is talking about, where you don't think God as a form and a name, but as the supreme. Yasyanta sthani bhutani yena sarvam idam tatam. That is the self in which everything exists. That is one you should try to attain. Because once you attain that atyantika, pralaya happens, means all the illusion of the world is destroyed at that moment. Suddenly the snake disappears from the rope. Now what's the point in doing research where the snake went? Because the snake never existed in the first place. So why should you know how many years Brahma sleeps, how many times he wakes up, what happens? Snake only is not there. So where is the question of doing an analysis of snakes' wherewithals? So the Maya disappears, world disappears, you remain Brahman, you see everything as Brahman, you are liberated as you are. See, when you die and become Brahman, that's called Videha Mukti. When you live and become Brahman, it's called Jivana Mukti. Jivana Mukti is better than Videha Mukti, because after you die, what use are you to anybody? But as you're alive and you realize divinity, you can be of use to everybody. And we have discussed about it. The best of the Brahma Vidas are those who are always busy serving the world, at the same time reveling in their divine self within. And it is possible. There are people who have achieved it. So Krishna is saying, try to become like that, O Arjuna. Yatra kale tvanam avrittim chaiva yoginaha prayata yanti tam kalam vakshami bhartarshaba. Then there are some technical details. He says, what is that time when you die, you will definitely not come back. And what is the time when you die, you will come back. There are some muhurtas for that. That's what he's saying. As per the scripture, don't take it to... See, this is a poetry. Gita means what? Song. It is not a prose. It is a poetry. And there is a poetic license given to everybody. And there is a poetic license here too. So don't take everything literally. Take the philosophy out of it. Don't take the words literally, but the philosophy of it you should take. That you should be very clear about. Otherwise you will confuse yourself and confuse others around you. So he says, let me tell you the times when people die and they will attain moksha, and the times when people die and they will come back again. He says, Agnir Jyotir Aha Shukla Shanmasa Uttarayanam Tat Prayata Gachanti Brahma Brahma Vido Janaha. There is one way of going, which is this time. What is that time? Agni. Agni Kala means through the route of, is not even, Kala means a route, he is saying. Through the route of Agni, through the route of Jyoti, through the road of daytime, through the road of Shukla Paksha in the month, the waxing half of the month, moon's face, Shanmasa or 6 months of the Uttarayana Kala, when the sun is in the northern hemisphere. If that is the time, Tat Prayata Gachanti Brahma Brahma Vido Janaha. So they said they attain the supreme when they pass this way. So now you don't calculate, suppose somebody decides to, Bhishma decided to leave only during Uttarayana. So that is how it is being said. But what he is trying to say, and today people may decide to stay in the ventilator till Uttarayana. So does that make them Brahmagyanis? I don't think so. It is not possible. It means what? So there is one nice, Chinmayananda Swamiji gave a nice example for this. He said, suppose you reach the airport early. Will your flight take off just because you have landed early? No. They'll take you to a lounge and put you there saying that please wait here till your flight arrives. So even if you die in Uttarayana thinking, Abba, thank God I died in Uttarayana, the devatas are there, they're waiting for you. So Shankaracharya interprets this as Agni, Jyoti, Day, Shukla, Mas or Shanmasa, Uttarayana. These are all devatas, it seems. Like the airport counter, people will be waiting to receive you and put you in a lounge and then take you to your gate. So even if you die in these times, don't be too sure that you will attain Brahman. And at the same time, corollary is true too. If you die in another time but you have done very good, you may attain Brahman still. So what is the other time? Dhumo Ratris Tatha Krishna Shanmasha Dakshinayanam Tatra Chandramasam Jyotihi Yogi Prapya Nivartate. The other side is there, where you go to through the fire route, Ratri, darkness, Krishna, darker half of the day, that is night time, Shanmasa, Dakshinayan time, and Chandramasam Jyoti, you land up in some other loka. Idea is that if you go through one way, in our scripture there are two paths, that is what is being said. One is the path of the sun, another is path of the moon. Path of the sun takes you towards higher lokas, it seems, and path of the moon takes towards a lower loka. So what he is saying is that if you go by the good path, you have done lot of good, you will go to higher lokas. They have 14 lokas. What are the 14 lokas? Bhur, Bhuva, Swaha, Mahajana, Tapa, Satyam. That is the higher loka is Brahma loka. And below lokas are there. What are those lokas? Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Rasatala, Mahatala, Patala. So you can go below -7 or go above +7. Depends on what you have done here. Accordingly, you will get the route through which you go. Daytime is when good things are happening. Nighttime, nobody is doing any yagna yagas. Fire, light, all this is associated with some rituals going on. See, the Brahmins or those who perform these rituals, at that time when you are hearing the Vedic sounds, you are involved in a great ritual. The possibility of you thinking of Brahman is better. And Uttarayana Kala, lot of festivals, lot of things keep happening. So your possibility of thinking of Brahman and remaining in that steady state is higher than the other times of the year or the day or the seasons when most of these rituals or most of these punya does not happen. So probably that could be one reason, but ultimate reason is what? Are you ready or not? That is the ultimate reason. Your flight is not going to take off even if you arrive at the airport early, and flight is not going to wait if you arrive late. So he says, Shukla Krishna gati hyete jagata shashvate mate ekaya yatyana anyaya vartate punaha. From the dark route, people go to one type of worlds, and from bright route, they go to one type of world. And he clearly says that even if you end up with all these things, you may go to Brahmaloka also at the end. But finally, at the end, you have to come back to Bhuloka only to finish your karmas. Remember, Nachiketa's father was always trying to go to Swargaloka. Why? Because there is happiness, there are apsaras, there are dances, there is food, there is all kinds of pleasures. So all these people are the Lokeshana, Putreshana, and what do you call that? Vitteshana. They wanted money so that they can do yajnas. They wanted sons who can continue doing pitra danas and yajnas, and they want Lokeshana. They wanted to go to the higher lokas and enjoy, like 5-star, 7-star hotels. They don't want to go to the lower lodges. So that was the idea. And you may think, is this all true? In a way it is true, because these lokas do exist. But again, as I said, it is as illusory as our dreams. But if you have a bad dream, can you get out of it? Even if you want, you can't get out of it sometimes. So this is how it is. And Krishna says, Nayate striti partha janan yogi muhyati kaschana tasmat sarveshu kaleshu yoga yukto bhavarjuna. Even though the jnanis know there are two paths. One, you can go to good higher worlds by doing certain yajna yagas and good things, and you may slip to the lower world. They know both the paths, but they decide not to bother about both. They decide on to focus on how to get rid of both and ultimately reach the Param Dhama, from where there is no need of coming back ever. So even if you go to Brahmaloka, like many Dvaita Bhakti says, you worship Vishnu, you will go to Vishnu Loka. Or Rama, you go to Saketa Loka. Or Brahma, you Brahma Loka. Or Shiva, Kailash Loka and all that. But there also it's only limited. Remember when Nachiketa was arguing with Yama, Yama said, I will send you to Swarga Loka. I will give you all the pleasures. Don't ask me the question what happens after death. Because that is like you're directly attacking my bread and butter. Because as Yama, I have to take people and bring them back. If you stop my business, what will I do? So I want ignorant people whom I can drag by hair into different lokas and bring them dragging back into the wombs again. That's my job, taxi service. And if you redeem yourself, then where is the question of my job? So Yama is not telling the secret, but Nachiketa insists. He says very beautiful. When Yama says, I'll give you all the pleasures, don't ask me the truth, he says very clearly. O Yama, Shobhava martasya adanta kaitad sarvendriyanam jarayanti teja api sarvam jivitam alpameva tvaveva vahat tvavanritya gite. Keep your dance, music, pleasures to yourself, because even if you give me all these things, I know even if I live for 1,000 years like this, I know at the end all my energy will be drained because of the senses and sense pleasures. I will have no time and no energy left to do good things. And anyway, all this will come to an end, and finally you will be waiting for me. So don't you fool me into this talk, a sweet talk. Don't fool me by that. He tells very clearly, Nachiketa. That's why Yama loved him and he started revealing the truths to Nachiketa. And thanks to Nachiketa, we all know the truth. Because we all won't have the opportunity to go to Yama and discuss and then come back and do good. Once we're gone. But Nachiketa could manage that. Final shloka. Vedeshu yagneshu tapassu chaiva daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam atyeti tat sarvam idam viditva yogi param sthanam upaiti chadyam. See, he says, above Veda, yajna, tapaha, dana, all the punya comes from all these things. It's good to do, but yogi is not stuck there only. He is not doing it for the sake of getting punya. Atyeti, he transcends all this. Tat sarvamidam viditva. How? Because he knows what lies behind all this. What is the ultimate? He knows all that. So he transcends that. Yogi param sthanam upaiti chadyam. He reaches the ultimate, primordial, original state without any of these vikaras. That is the yogi's way. He doesn't want Brahmaloka, he doesn't want Satyaloka, Tapaloka, Mahaloka, Janaloka, no loka he wants. Nor he wants to slip down to the lower lokas, obviously. He wants a redemption from all this. And that is why you must know whom should you meditate on. Dhyana yoga went on. What should I meditate on? If I meditate on the Krishna, who is the physical Krishna, I may end up in Vrindavana loka or some loka, Vaikuntha loka. And I will live there for a certain number of years, enjoy everything. And finally, for the sake of redemption, I will have to come down back to this Bhuloka. So, it is so important to understand how blessed we are to be born as human beings. Last time I was telling, not just human beings, we are born in such a way that we are able to learn these great truths. So many people in the world are ignorant. Imagine, for them the world is just about eating, sleeping, making merry and maximizing their time on earth. And then there are philosophies which tell you the only thing that happens after you die is hell or heaven. And once that happens, finally you wait and finally you will get judged, and then we don't know what happens next on final judgment day. No, we don't know what the real truth is. So many people don't know what the truth is. Only we know. Why? Because we are blessed to read these Upanishads. We are the followers of Sanatana Dharma. We are born in India. We are born in a way that we are able to access this knowledge. And above all, you have Mahapurush Samshraya, somebody who can teach you from experience, not by simply borrowing from the book and transferring it to your head. Pustakam to mastakam. No, through the experience of what is the truth, one is able to talk about it. And therefore, we must consider ourselves very blessed. But our blessings will mean nothing if we don't put the right kind of effort. And what is the effort that Krishna is asking? He is not telling bend your body, do this yogasana, do hatha yoga, all kinds of extreme measures. Starve yourself, deprive yourself of all kinds of comforts. He is not saying that. Yukta ahara viharasya, yukta cheshtasya karmasu, yukta swapna vabodhasya, yoga bhavati dukha. Your yoga is moderation. Moderate everything. Don't cross your limits. Don't run behind excesses. Ati sarvatra varjayat in spirituality. So simple. And at the end says, how do you attain that? Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu ma manusvaradhyacha mayyarpita manobuddhi mamai vaishya sanchayaha. Just think of me all the time and do your work. Teacher, doctor, cleaner, sweeper, singer, cook, driver, whoever you are. Just do your duty but think of me. Now tell me our fortune, how big it is. Because we are in an institution where we have no choice but to think of God and work. Automatically we have to think of God. It is so easy if you are in another place and anywhere else in the world, in the midst of all the competition and thick of materialism. How often can you think of Krishna and God or whatever, Supreme Brahman, and work? So difficult. So you already are very blessed. So many things have happened right for us. We should be grateful and be mindful of what has come our way. Don't throw it away, because like a monkey who does not know the value of a diamond, you throw a stone at him, it will throw the diamond back to you. We shouldn't become those monkeys. We should not be fools who will mudadis, who will not realize Maya, Haprata Chetasa, whose discrimination has been stolen away by Maya of the world. You have been blessed to study here, learn so many scriptures. At the end, if you drop it and throw it away, there cannot be a greater unfortunate being on earth. Somebody who did not have access to it and understanding, he threw it away in ignorance, forgivable. You know everything. What is right, what is wrong, everything has been told to you. Yet you decide to do the wrong thing. How unfortunate. And now you remember Brahma lives for 100 years, and each 100 years has so many yugas, mahayugas, and you can keep coming back. You have to study the same math, science, physics, chemistry, and who knows, you may get the same teachers, wardens again and again. At least for that sake, redeem yourself. But some people, laugh at me and they say, why do you teach all these things to these young fellows? And then some people also say, those people who believe in the YOLO, no? You only live once. They want to enjoy life. So when our kids go out and they are next to those YOLO guys, and the YOLO fellows are making merry, smoking, drinking, everything, and our fellow is trying to remain, steady and not get distracted. He struggles. She struggles. Why? Because looks like they are enjoying life and we are suffering. But this is the same state of those students who don't study all year. They're always playing, making merry, sleeping. A studious fellow might think, they are enjoying life. I also should enjoy like them. But he knows, the studious fellow knows, they are enjoying now. At the end, when the exams come, they will suffer. I will not suffer then. So that attitude we should have. While we'll think of the world as those who are enjoying, richer, becoming more rich, and wealthier and more arrogant and powerful, whereas poor people are suffering and this and that. Don't get deluded by all this. First, you get your thought process right. What is the right thought process? I must do what is right. I must work in such a way that in case I have to close my eyes now and here, I must close in the complete consciousness of who I am. And what comes out of my mind is Om, not anything else. Om means the idea of Brahman comes in my mind, nothing else. So constantly living in that thought is the preparation to die right. This chapter is not very popular, not many people read about it. Only when the soul gets disembodied, it knows the pain of having lost an opportunity. It's so painful, it's inconsolable when it dies with the realization that it has wasted a wonderful opportunity. Pain is unbelievable. So please remember that this is the way of life. All life is nothing but living in a way that when we die, we have no regrets. Kim sadhuna karvam, kim aham papam akarvam. Why did I not do the right things? Why did I do the wrong things? These regrets don't happen to who? Anandam Brahmano Vidwan, the one who knows Brahma as the very Ananda Swarupa. For such a person, those regrets don't happen at the fag end of their lives. Otherwise, a lot of people die in regret. Anyways, there's so much can be talked. This is the favorite topic. Akshara Brahma is my favorite topic. I can go on and on and on. But for the time and situation, this is good enough for now. Please do go and meditate. Krishna again and again says, Anuchintayet, Anusmaran. Keep remembering, keep thinking about what I have said just now. Because this is what will help us to choose the right over pleasant, and always keep our mind on God while we go on doing our duty in such a way that any moment when Prayana Kala comes, we are ready to leave with complete consciousness of who you are in such a way that we reach that Paramadhama from where there is no need to return again.